This is the OnePlus 8, and you're probably wondering why I'm holding it and making a video about it in 2021. Well, because I bought it. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos, and today we are talking about the OnePlus 8. I picked up this phone to give it a test run to see how good it is, and is it still worth it in 2021? Now, I'm looking at it from a perspective of work-wise, efficiency-wise for my work. Am I going to be able to do my job in an efficient manner with this smartphone? Why am I looking at a smartphone like this versus one of the newer ones, one of the flagship ones? Well, this was made in 2020, and the question is, will it be good for the next couple years? That is what I'm analyzing at the price point that it's at, because I'm looking at it in terms of the budget, A, B, time, energy, and money, and how will it fit the narrative of my workflow. At the same time, I have another issue with my equation, and that is my mother. My mother's phone has become obsolete, and she needed to do an upgrade. Now, Black Friday is coming around the corner, and I was hoping she'd hold out, but that wasn't the case with the phone that she has. So the idea here is that she always gets the, hand-me-down ones that I use. I usually replace the battery and fix up the screen if I've broken it, and then I get the new phone. She gets the old phone. She's always happy. I'm happy. We're good to go, but timelines were not matching this time. So I went out looking for phones, and the unlocked crappier ones that are on Amazon, I was thinking about it, but the budgets weren't lining up with me thinking about, hey, what if I get the new phone on Black Friday, and then we just have one of these other phones sitting around, when she could have something that's better, and then I can have a backup phone. Now, the backup phone would become the one I'm currently using, that is the Samsung S10. Now, overall, that phone has served me great. It still works fine, but it's coming to that point where I need to trade up, as it doesn't have 5G and a whole bunch of other stuff that I really want to see in a phone. That being said, this phone is coming in at a price point that is great. And I saw the price point and I was like, oh, wow, like this is not bad. Now, in Canada, I picked it up for $530. It's averaging $545, and they went on sale for $485. So in the States, knock the currency in there and, bring it down about 30% cheaper. And you'll find this phone in between that, $400 to $500 range as well. So very nice price point for a phone that should last you the next couple of years. Overall, this phone, I've been testing it out. It's great. And I'm just going to do an overview of the things that generally you'd be looking at as a consumer, and or if you need it for business. This phone feels great. It's actually feeling like the Samsung. It has a nice body, and it's good to hold in the hand. You can do all your work with one hand, and I like that about it. The screen is just perfect for that size. It does have a curved screen, and this curved screen, Samsung has it too, but this is a little bit more sensitive. I've noticed I've been able to click off on the side with my palm, but I mean, overall, you get used to it, and you know what to do and what not to do. And once you put a case on it, I mean, some people were complaining about the color, and I'm like, when do you just leave it like this? Like, ever? It goes in the case, and it stays in the case, kind of thing. So overall, that aspect is there. Now, when I'm looking at it in terms of the screen is great. It's super fast. Like, honestly, it's awesome. And this does have the 90 hertz screen, and the Samsung S10 Plus has a 60. So, I mean, I thought, based on the reviews and everybody talking about it, that it'd be a game changer to go to 90 hertz. It hasn't been. Is it better? Yes. Does it change my life? No. Maybe the 120 will, that everybody's talking about, but the 90, I don't see it that much. Like, yeah, when you're doing the regular work stuff, it does make a difference, but overall, it's not gonna, like, if you're buying a phone just to go to that, I don't know if that's really worth it, unless like it's like the thing that's gonna make your life so much better just to know you have it. But the screen is nice, everything's good. In terms of watching videos on it, I'm not the biggest fan of some of the apps on this. I'm not sure if the apps are more coordinated with the older modeled phones, kind of like Amazon Prime. The videos on there atrocious to watch on there. But when I throw on Netflix or anything like YouTube, it's fine. It's good. So the sound comes out nicely. I can't complain overall with that perspective. Now, when we're looking at it in terms of the thought process of 5G, I thought I was going to be blown away with 5G. I was hoping 5G would be so much better, and I was looking forward to it. Does it become a game changer? And if you're looking to buy a phone so you can get into the 5G world, will it change your life? Not really. Now, we live in Canada and we have a monopoly that exists with the carriers. And I mean, they all talk a big game, but when you go to the States, I always have a better experience with anything with the network carriers there than here. So, I mean, maybe one of the bands is missing that is the super fast one, but I didn't get that experience where I was wowed. I was expecting to get wowed. I'm not wowed at all. Is it a better experience? Yes. Again, there's an improvement. But is it that game changer? No. Where I did find a big difference is when I did a hotspot on this for my laptop, and it was quicker. Overall, better experience. I like that. It was good, so I can't complain. That being said, it's not going to be like, you're not going to be wowed by it at all. The idea of the battery, and this is probably my most critical thing, the battery on this is great. And it's not the warp speed for charging, but it does a good job on charging. So if I get in the car, the battery's at 20%. By the time I drive 15 to 20 minutes, 25 minutes, the battery's back up to 60, 70, 80%, depending on how much I've driven. So I know that I'm going to be good with battery at any one time. I just plug it in for like a good 20 minutes. We're good to go. It charges up and it lasts all day. I've been using this to test it out with a whole bunch of different aspects. It lasts. It's good. No complaints whatsoever. Now, the issues, though, that popped up with this phone and why I'm holding it, because my mom was kind of like, I'm not giving it to you. She had found an issue with the plug, and it was giving an error of some dusting. And then I started testing out the battery, and it went from, the battery health went from 98 to 95 to 93, and it's just stayed at 93. And we still get this error. I'm still trying to communicate with the company to figure that out, but I'm probably going to send this back, and it's probably the unit, and just before the 30 days are over at Amazon there, and just get a newer phone on it. So overall, this phone has been good in that manner. Lastly, maybe one of the concerns you're going to have is cameras. So how do I put this into perspective for you guys? The flagship phones, every year they come out and the camera is like better than the year before. Great. But they're not making light year jumps. It's been a while since that happened. Okay. So the difference between this and my Samsung S10 Plus, yeah, it's a little bit better. Not like anything insanely better. Okay. And when I'm comparing this and looking at the reviews where people are like, yo, this camera is not as good as the AT or the Pro or the Samsungs, and it's negligible. It's not that great. Now, where do you find the issue is the front-facing camera, because you kind of want to do some, some lives and do some other, work with your face on there and do some meetings. And you'd like that to be a little bit better. So I was kind of hoping the front-facing camera would be a touch better, just a smidgen maybe, and I never understand camera makers and why they can't, or phone makers and why they can't put a better camera on the front facing, because you're going to be needing that and you want to kind of look pretty in meetings. So I'm still waiting for that to happen. Apparently the new phones coming out are going to be awesome, and they're going to be much better on the front. And I mean, the phone overall, the video, you can use this for content creation. You won't have an issue. You're not looking at it in terms of making high quality for Netflix. You're doing it for YouTube. You're doing it for social media, if anything. So, I mean, for that kind of stuff, this will work fine. You're not going to have like the ultimate like you would with like something like the new Samsung that does 8K kind of thing. But I mean, you're going to get a quality that is good enough. I've tested out with some night stuff. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but you're getting the job done. So unless you're going to be using it for professional stuff and you're going to be saying, I need the, ultimate that is available right now and I need to upgrade every year, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect you that much. It's going to get the job done, and it's going to be in that realm. Now, again, this is my opinion coming from a business slash creative slash, get the job done kind of mindset. When I'm looking at the price point at this nice rounded area of $500 Canadian, man, come on. like, I'll leave the links below so you can check them out in your currency. But I mean, this is like, this is awesome. Like for me, like personally, I look at it and I say, is this worth it for the budget? And this is how I'm calculating it so we can put it in perspective for everybody. Okay. When you're looking at business, you're saying to yourself, well, what is my budget? Time, energy, and money is what we're looking at. And I look at it and say, how much issues or how many issues am I being faced with the current phone I have? And is the upgrade worth it? And then I look at it in terms of how it's affecting my workflow. And then I look at it in terms of budget for the next couple of years. This should be good for a couple years at least. So 2 to 3 years. I look at it and I say, all right, if I'm spending with the taxes and everything all in $600, that's $300 a year for 2 years or $200 a year for 3 years. Boom, done. Now I can break it down to monthly too if it makes me feel better. But I mean, that's what I know yearly is going to be. So this is going to be the expense my mom's going to have for a phone for the next 2 to 3 years. I know she's going to keep it for 2 to 3 years unless it breaks, and knock on wood. But unless it breaks, unless something happens, that's what we're looking at. And once this all comes to a conclusion in 3 years, will I be happy with with what we got out of this phone? And I think we will with what we're seeing. I just have to deal with that one issue and see what happens there moving forward. Other than that, if you have questions, comments, concerns, discrepancies, leave a comment below. My name is Nikos, and of course, check out these 2 videos.